But let's take a break here, and let's hear from Sidney Powell, because she had a really, this stuff is so interesting. And as you know from the show, we respect her so much. We respect the work that she's done on General Flynn's case. We've read her legal briefs. We've followed her commentary through the years. She is one of the finest lawyers I've ever seen. She has nerves of absolute steel. She will stand up to a withering criticism of federal judges who, by the way, turn out to be wrong, but she'll stand up to their withering criticism and she'll fight back. She'll fight for her clients. She's really a smart lady. I've met her in person when she was here in town, coming up on a year ago almost, and, have so much admiration for her. I'm glad to know she's on President Trump's legal team for this fight. And let's hear what she had to say yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo.
There has been a massive and coordinated effort to steal this election from we, the people of the United States of America, to delegitimize and destroy votes for Donald Trump, to manufacture votes for Joe Biden. They have done it in every way imaginable, from having dead people vote in massive numbers to absolutely fraudulently creating ballots that exist only voting for Biden. We've identified at least 450,000 ballots in the key states that miraculously only have a mark for Joe Biden on them and no other candidate. If you look at Florida, where things were done right, you can see that that's how the rest of the country should have gone. But they also used an algorithm to calculate the votes they would need to flip, and they used the computers to flip those votes from Trump to Biden, and from other Republican candidates to their competitors also. I think Doug Collins had the race stolen from him. I think John James had his race stolen from him. It wasn't just President Trump. There were many people affected by this. We have got to fight tooth and nail in federal court to expose this abject fraud and the conspiracy behind it, and get a recount and audits in every place it's needed, which is, frankly, most of the country.
Now, this is so important. First of all, she's such a clear thinker and such a clear speaker. I'm glad we got a chance to hear from her. But this is so important. There are so many issues in all of these states. And let's stop a minute and let's go back to the Constitution, because what's going on right now is a major push by the mainstream media, all of the Democrats, and a bunch of turncoat Republicans to try and tell you that the election has been called. And it's just like Rudy Giuliani said on Saturday in Philadelphia at the press conference that he gave. The media doesn't call the elections. The media doesn't get to decide the elections. What matters here is the electors. What matters here is the U.S. Constitution. And the U.S. Constitution vests the power for choosing the electors in the state legislature. So let's look at Article 2, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution, which states, quote, "Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress." Now, this is so important because the Constitution of the United States specifies that it is the state legislatures that are empowered to determine how the electors are selected in each individual state. So the state legislatures have to pass laws, have to set the rules for the election. And what just happened in our country, all across the country, is that the administrators and the executives, the governors and the administrative state in each individual state, they made up their own rules. They made up their own rules. Sometimes they were supported by the court, like in Pennsylvania, where the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said that they could accept ballots after the day of the election. But you know what was missing from all of that? What was missing from all of that is the legislatures of those states did not pass a law. No state legislature passed a law saying that they could accept widespread mail-in ballots. Most state legislatures have passed a law saying that they can accept absentee ballots under certain circumstances. Most states don't have a mail-in system like we have here in Florida that's established under the law, that is effective, that we have perfected over the years so that we could actually allow people to vote by mail, and we have systems of checks and balances in place to ensure the integrity of the election. Most states like Philadelphia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada, all these other states, they just made this up earlier this year, and the legislatures didn't have anything to do with it. The administrators and the executives, the executive branch and the administrative state, just made up the rules earlier this year because of, the COVID crisis, right? They made up the rules, and they said, this is how we're going to do it this year. And the legislatures never said that okay. That is absolutely and utterly unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional. It is, to put it as our good friend Ken Starr said, it is a lawless act. It is a lawless act. It is something done against the rule of law. It violates the U.S. Constitution. And the U.S. Supreme Court had better do its job. They had better step in, and they had better enforce the Constitution. And I think they're getting ready to do that. We saw an order come out from Justice Alito, and he said that in Pennsylvania in particular, they had to segregate all the ballots received after 8 p.m. on Election Day because that is the law in Pennsylvania. It's not what they were trying to do, but Justice Alito said they had to segregate it. Well, you know what the folks in charge of the Democrat machine in Pennsylvania did? They ignored the order to the point where he had to issue a second order saying, absolutely, you must segregate. You cannot count these in with the other ballots.
Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.